So, in the last week, we have already finished the fish tank. It's very simple, just like that. So nothing special for this one. We're just using sweep one rail or revolve to finish the fish tank shape, and then using Boolean difference to create the water mass inside the fish tank. For the rest part, including the rock, including the water grace, that kind of stuff, well, it's just about using the model assets from the internet. So for that part, if you want to enrich the detail, yeah, you can do that by yourself. I would say you don't have to completely using mine. You can using some nice and good material that you downloaded from the internet and enrich the detail. So the next things we are going to do, the next practice will be subdivision modeling. Okay, just like this. And our target will be Lee's golden fish. This golden fish. You can turn on the another file that I give you, the subd tutorial 3dm. For this part, I will show you what's the difference between the subdivision modeling, mesh modeling, and also NURBS modeling. At the very beginning of this semester, I think I have already done this tutorial before, but for this time, I will try to do that again. So let's take a look. You don't have to follow me, just listen up. It will be quite enough. So first thing is, inside Rhinosys, usually the way we do our modeling will be the surface modeling, which name or another name is non-uniform rational B-spline. So I think it's very similar to the what's the name of that? I forget. Bezier curve inside your Adobe Illustrator. A little bit similar to that. So you can using control point to control the shape of your curve. And no matter how you zoom in or zoom out, it still can stay the same curvatures right here. So that's about the NURBS modeling. It's more like a vector drawing, and also every point and every curve it represents one formula, one functions. So that's about the nerve surface. So using this way for making the model, it can make your 3D model more precise and more accurate. So usually we using this way for modeling in industrial model. For example, if you are going to print some prototype or if you are going to make or a car prototype, we will use in NURBS modeling in order to get the nice and smooth surface. So that's the function and that's the usage of NURBS modeling. And second one, well, that's the things we will work using more. That's about mesh and polygon modeling. So as far as you can see, the major difference between these two, one is a simple box without any iso curve on the surface. Another one, like things right here, you can see that although it still looks like a box, but on the surface part there is a diagonal curve on the surface, which means it split the rectangle into two triangles. So that's about the mesh and polygons. The major difference between these two is that this one is composed by the nervous surface and nervous curve. And for this one, all the mesh, all the model you have seen is composed by its triangle shape. So probably we can draw a diagram for you. Let's see right here. So for the mesh model, as far as you can see, actually, it was always composed by the triangle shape. But sometimes, because we know that rectangle is composed by two triangle, so in the middle part, actually, we can just using we can just using the visibility way to hide the middle part, so we don't have to see the triangle shape. So that's about the polygon and mesh model. So the mesh model basically it means the triangle part. And the polygon model means the rectangle part. But actually, they are the same, okay? Basically, they are pretty much the same. If you have take Professor Long's 3D modeling class, you will know that these features exactly show up in 3ds Max. The mesh, we have the AD mesh. And for the model, we have for the polygon we have edit polygon. And inside of 3ds Max, the major difference between these two is one. The first one is triangle shape. The second one is polygon shape. So what's the good part of the triangle shape and what's the good part of the polygon shape? Basically, when we are going to working on the 3D modeling, for example, let's say you are going to do a human face like this. Let me draw a rough human face for you, okay? Let's say this is a human face. So the good part of the triangle shape is that it can compose anything. So you can just directly using your triangle shape to do the model, right? No matter what kind of type, what kind of shape, you can just do that. But there is a problem because since you can using any different way to compose the model you want, so which means that the model itself probably it doesn't have a very specific and detailed wireframe on that. And it will cause some problem. If you are going to animate your character, for example, this is the eye of this character, and usually if we are going to make the eyeball move, well, it has to follow the real shape of our muscle. For example, the muscle around the eyes or the muscle around the mouth. So in triangle shape, it's not that easy to see the flow of the muscle. Okay, the flow of the muscle. So in that, usually when we are working on animation, we prefer to using polygon. So this one, it will more easier for you guys to see the flow. You can see that this polygon shape, the rectangle, well, they are arranged in the same range so that it can just move just like our real muscle and give us a more nature and a more energetic way for our 3D animation. So that's the main reason why we have to use in a polygon. Otherwise, if you are talking about the performance part, wait for a second. Okay, I haven't shared. Sorry for that. I forgot to share the screen. Let me do that again. Sure. Okay. See? So that's the reason why we have to using the polygons. We have to using a polygon way for modeling. So wait for a second. All right. So if you are going to make something like creatures, like animals, or maybe the organic structure, that kind of stuff, then using polygon probably will be a better way compared to mesh. But if your model is gonna be a still model, it's gonna be a still model, which means it won't be animated or it's just like a simple steel sculpture, then using mesh probably will be a better way. But no matter how, if you are going to import your model into some software such as Unreal Game Engines or Unity, then usually it still will be turned into mesh because in that way this kind of 3D platform can recognize how to construct your model. But actually, it is okay. Once you have already finished the setting of the flow for your polygons, then even it has been transformed into mesh, still it will be fine. It still can work properly. Okay, so that's the things. That's about the setting of the. That's about the setting of the polygon and also mesh. So take a look. Here is some references. Let's go to the top view. So this is the human face model. As far as you can see, this is composed by polygon model. So most of the face right here, they are rectangles. So you can see that only four sides, no more than four sides. And right here, this is the surrounding of our eyes and also surrounding of our mouth. So in order to make this one can move and animate it smoothly, so that we need to follow the real muscle structure to do the modeling and make sure the polygon can align in the ring so that when you are going to open up the mouth or close up the mouth, then the animation and the shape can work properly. Same for the eyes. If you didn't do that, probably in certain part it will make some pretty weird spike on the border or on the end of the model. So that's the reason why we're using polygon rather than using mesh. But if once you finish the setting of the polygon, still you can turn this one into mesh modeling. Okay, so there's no clear boundary. Basically, these two things are the same. The only difference is that the polygon hit in the middle line, the middle diagonal line in the center. So that's it. Okay, so that's about the polygon model. And inside Rhinoceros, we can do them both. We can do both. So for sure, you can just directly create a sphere just using the nervous modeling. Okay, just draw a nervous modeling, and it was composed by surface. And then you can choose in this surface a sphere model and choosing this icon and click OK and define how many polygons, how many mesh you want to have. Click OK. So now we have this one. So this is a polygon model right now. Okay. So inside Renaissance, we can smoothly transform between nerves and also polygon model. Probably right now, as far as I know, the only two 3D software that can smoothly transform between mesh and polygon, one is Maya, another one is Rhinoceros. And for Blender, for 3ds Max, basically they don't have the real nervous functions. So that makes the difference. All right, so let's take a look. If you turn on the control point, so you will see that the control point is right here. For the nerves, the control point is outside of the surface. So you have to drag and control the form just like you are using remoting control, something like that. So it's not that intuitive at all if you want to do the sculpting. And for the polygon model, it's exactly on the surface. So you can just directly drag the model, drag the point. But you can see that if you want to have a more smooth surface, then you need to create more polygons on the model surface in order to get the enough pixel, enough voxel for your model. So that's the problem of the mesh modeling. So in the end, as the growing, as the developing of the technologies, now we have the subdivision modeling. So that's the third one. Okay, this is the third one. So what's the function of the subdivision modeling? Basically, the subdivision modeling is based on the polygon modeling. Let me remove that. So just like the things we have said before, if you want to get a very smooth, let's say this is a smooth polygon, a section model, okay? If you want to get a very smooth surface, if you're using polygon modeling or maybe mesh modeling, then you need to create a lot of surface, right? You need to increase the number of the surface to get a more smooth result. Just like this one. Let's take a look at this one. Copy one more. Oh, sorry, we don't have to copy. Let's click this button. So if you want to have a more smooth face, you have to increase the number of polygons to here. So you can see that, all right, this one is very close to the result we want. And if you have lace, then for sure your model will look more pixelated. So let's reduce the number. Okay. So you can see that this one is super smooth and this one is pretty rough. But you know, if you have more faces, it means it will increase the performance of your computer. So for sure, consider of the performance of your computer, this one will be way more better than that one. But for this one, the visual part was better than this one. So how can we find the balance? How can we find the balance between these two ways? So now we have the subdivision. For the subdivision, it's just about to hide. Let me using another color. it's just about to hide the middle edge between the surface. So actually for the subdivision surface, you still have the middle curve. I mean, still have this one. Still have something like this, the middle curve right here. But they just using your physical memory to hide them. So that you can use that vertex to control your model. Okay? Using this, sorry, I made mistake. Using these vertex and to control your model. So that's a very important benefit for subdivision model. So with this one, we can do many different things. So let's try to convert this one to subdivision. Let's just type into subdiv. Okay, let's turn on. So now we have this one is subdivision, a subdivision model. So you can see that although it still keeps the same number of the vertices, but you can use the result become way more smooth than before. And also you can use this control point to control the shape you want to have. So it is a best way for making that kind of creature or organic model. So right now it become the main trend and main way for making the organic creatures, organic model shape, that kind of stuff. But again, just like what I have said before, because for a subdivision model, it still has this kind of stuff. It still has the interpart line, intermesh inside. So if you make too complicated, in the end, if you are going to do animation or if you are going to do the game, still you have to make them become the mesh model. Still, you will have the same number of the faces. But at least during the process, you can make this one more easier to control. And also, if you are going to make animation, you can use in this way gradually adjust your shape and get the appropriate number of the face. You don't have to just directly get into such a detailed and smooth model. You can gradually adapt it to the result you want to have. So that's about the subdivision modeling. Okay, so I think right now that's the major three different way for model. And for sure, right now we have Gaussian splash and also voxel modeling, but that will be another thing. And if you are going to do digital sculpting or maybe using AI for generating a model, then we will talk about that kind of technologies. But for the traditional animation and 3D game working pipeline, nerves, mesh, and also subdivision will be the most common used way for making the 3D model. Alright, so that's it. That's about the introduction of the 3D model. And for this time, the things we're going to do will be about the practice of the subdivision model. Alright, I will stop recording for a while. So that's about the introduction of the three different way for modeling. And for this part, you don't have to follow me. So now let's get to the point for the practice for today. The golden fish. Okay, this one. So this one will be the last part for our tutorial in this semester. I think if we have enough time, probably we can do some extra practice. But the golden fish modeling, it will be the last part for our official, the pre-schedule part. So how can we do that? How can we start? So first things, usually, actually, I don't like to do the model in this way, but for for the professional modeler and also most of the 3D artists, they're still using this way for making the model. First things, we have to get the side view, top view, and front view. So let's import the image first. You can type in, sorry, let me type in the keynote for you. Just go to command bar and type in PIC, which means picture. Okay, picture. So that now you are allowed to import the image that you're going to use. And I think my image is right here. No, not here. Okay, probably I forget to download. I forget where it is. 我不是下载了吗？Okay. Let's see the image that you have to input is right here. Let's take a look. There is three uh, image in the folder. If you have already downloaded the full package of the tutorial Grasshopper tutorial, you can find a sub D folder inside, and you will get top O1, side O1, and also front O1 three image. You can just directly download them, or you can just directly use them. I will download that again. Okay, so now we have these three. And by using the picture command, then we are allowed to import them into your Rhino model. Let's type in again PIC and choosing the first one, picture. Now let's start to import the image. Let's choosing the first one, top O1, and just drag, put them here. Okay. For the rest of three, just using the same way to do that. Let's go to let's use in picture, press enter, redo that. Choosing the side view. Let's just draw. So this is the second one. Right now, probably the size is not correct because obviously this one's supposed to fit with our model, but it is okay. We can do that later in a manually way. Let's do let's do the importing again. Go to picture and choosing the front view. Again, just drag and put them into your Rhino model. Alright, so that's it. That's about how to import the reference image. And next thing is, if you think that okay, this one obviously is a little bit too large, then first things we can try to do using the scale to do the scaling and adjust the size of the image. Let me rotate this one to 90 degree and also put this one to the center of the top view. Basically, the top view will be the major thing, the major reference of our image. So you can for all the things you can use in the top view as the major reference. Okay. And also for the front view, we can do that later. But still, let's rotate this one into 90 degree and put this one into the front side of your model, of your top view. Okay, make your model looks like that. Right, I will stop right here so you can do the practice first. All right, guys. So once you have imported all the reference image to your Rhino model, then the next thing we can do is to change the transparency of the image. If you didn't do that, basically your image will be solid image. So it will somehow block the model and also block another image. So as far as I can see, if I put them right here, well, since this one is a solid image, so I cannot see through that. I cannot see another side, or it's hard for me to do the rest of part of the model because it will block our regions. So in order to change these situations, we can just click this reference image, go to the sidebar and choosing content, choosing the second one, material. Basically, all the image that you have imported, it will be considered as type 1 of the material. So this is the the side 01 material. You can turn down, go to the picture setting right here. So as far as I can see, the first one is self-illuminated, so it will somehow make your image brighter. If you uncheck this one, it will make this one a little bit darker, but probably not that easy to see. Another one, you can turn on the grayscale, make this one become black and white image if you think this one is more easy to see compared to coloring one. So third one is that it is about a setting of transparency. You can turn on use color mark. So this is the first one using color mark. Okay, using color mark and choosing the color that you want to set. Probably, for example, like this one, and also increase the number of the transparency. So somehow it will make the color you choose become transparent. So that's the first one. You can use this way to do the setting. So maybe for this time, I'd like to use the how to say that? Maybe not that good because this one become completely white. Okay, I will choose this one. Ah, sorry, not that good. All right, so I will just keep like this. Maybe don't use this one. It's better. Using color mask, if you have some maybe blue or yellow, green background, then using this, you can use a color mask to hidden the background. So basically, just like a green screen, a green wall, and that allow you to delete the background. So the final thing about is about the object transparency. We can just directly choosing this one. For me, I will turn this one maybe to 60 or 50 to make this image become a little bit transparent so that we can see through flat. Okay, we can see through flat. So same idea for the rest two image. You can just click this one, go to the content, go to the material setting, and find the picture transparency setting, and change the object transparency to 50 or 60. So that now you are allowed to see through the image. It won't block your vision anymore. Okay? I will stay right here probably for 1 minute, 2 minutes so that you can follow. And if you have already finished the setting of the transparency, then you can use in scaling the gumbo scaling to scale up or scale down the image that you have. Probably somehow make them have the same size. Okay? Just using this way to scale in and scale down. Make sure they are in the same positions. It doesn't have to be the center. You can put them on the side so that if you think this way will see more clear, it is okay. Screen sharing, I think I always start. Where is my screen sharing? Okay, wait for a second. Let me find it back. Okay. So if you have finished the setting of the transparency, then we are okay to start our modeling. So for the image itself, basically we won't do any change for them anymore. So you can just select all of them and click this little lock to lock the object so that you cannot select them anymore and you won't touch them anymore. So it will be a better solution for you. Otherwise, when you are working on your model, probably sometime you will accidentally select the image. So that won't be it won't be the result we want to have. Let's go back to the panel right here. Usually we use in the standard. Now we can switch to the subdivision tools right here. Okay. Probably if you are using the Rhino 8, the interface you are using will be a little bit different from mine, but pretty much the same. Okay, so the first things we are going to do is using the box subdivision. Let's choosing this one. Here are some primitives that we can use. So usually I prefer to start with the box. Let's choosing this one and just drag and you will get a box subdivisions right here, right? You can adjust about the shape and to the shape you want, and also put this one in the center of the top view, something like that. Up to you, but not necessary for me. So let's make this one first. And also, if you think another things like the snake right here or the model is a little bit too annoying on the side, then just turn off that. You can just turn off them. Also for this one, you can just turn off that. Okay, so now we have this box. Next thing is we have to do, we need to make this one has an automatical mirror function, which means for this fish is a symmetry model, right? The right side and left side, they are pretty much the same. So I don't want to redo that. We can just using a symmetry function to copy one side to another side. So this time I want to do this. Let's select the model. So choosing this one, reflect sub-D object, the icon right here. There's a little icon. It looks like how to say that? It looks like a turtle or looks like a eight, the shape of eight, number eight, something like that. Let's click this one, and you have to draw a reflection plane first. So the reflection plane will be on the x direction. Let's draw and pick one point to the side that you want to keep. So probably I will keep this side. So now we have press enter and now we have. Basically right now the things you have to do is to control the shape of this side. And for the other side it will automatically be reflected. Okay, let me redo that again. First thing is choosing the model, the subdivision model that you have. Then go to here, the subdivision object, the reflection object. First thing is you have to set up the reflection plane. So that's choosing the center of your model. Click here and draw a reflection plane. Then you have to keep choosing the side that you want to keep. Probably for this side, I will choosing this side and press enter. So now we have. So basically, now you have the things you have to do is to do the model right here, to control the model right here. For the other side, it will be automatically reflected. So, okay, I will stop right here. Please help me to finish this operation, then we can keep moving forward. And if you forget how to turn on or turn off the control point, the PC version, the hotkey will be F10 and F11. F10 to turn on, F11 for turn off. And also, you still can using this one. You still can using the icon right here to turn on the control point or to turn off the control point. So right now, if you have already finished the setting of the symmetry and also the model, let's go to the side view. Let's go to the side view. Actually, for me, it's the front view. And also, we can turn on the control point. You can choose in the first one, the outside control point, or the inside, the on the surface control point. The first one is show exactly the original shape. You can press tab key to turn on the original shape. The vertex is just show the original vertex. All right, so for this time, based on your need, I will choose in the second way. Just turn on the control point on the surface. So now you can use in the gumball to drag and start to move your object, start to move the control point and make your shape looks like the reference image. So probably we can move a little bit, move this one up, move this one down, move this one down a little bit, just like that. But probably you will find out, okay, we don't have enough edge. We don't have another ring to have the right shape. So how can we do that? Very simple. Inside subdivision, all the technique we have learned before, still you can keep using them. So hold on your Shift and Control key on your keyboard. You can select the face. Okay, you can select the face. So you can use in this way. Click the little dot in the center of the arrow, then you can just extrude in your face. So probably we can extrude 2 times. Make this one smaller, smaller. All right. And also here, let's try to adjust a little bit. Make them smaller. Get the shape you want to have. All right, something like that. For the back side, you can do the same thing. Hold on your Shift and Control key to select the face and do the extrusions. Okay, so now we have the side view of the golden fish. For the detail part, we can do the detail later, probably in the next class. But also, you can turn to the front view. Take a look about the front view. Right now, obviously, the fish is a little bit too fat. So please help me to reduce the size of the fish and also make them can fit our side front view image. Maybe it's not perfect because our reference image is not exactly the right size. So, but anyway, just try to make them somehow fit with our reference image. It will be quite enough. Okay, so this is the basic shape. Let me show you. Right? And if you think once you go back to the perspective, actually you can go to this way. This is the side view, this is the front view. Just show the all view of your model, all different view of your model. So obviously this part is a little bit too large. So we have to shrink that. The mouth of the fish is supposed to be smaller. So let's just make this one smaller. And also this one, it can be smaller. I think for this operation, it's very intuitive. So basically, not so many things you have to follow. For the rest, the part is just about to using your aesthetic and your observation to adjust the shape of the fish. Okay, I will stop right here. So let's assume this is the body of the golden fish. For the detail part, we will do the adjustment later. Alright guys, right now it's 10:33. So let's take a 20 minutes break until 10:53. Then we will keep moving forward. If you haven't saved your file, make sure you save it because subdivision sometimes it will crash inside Rhinoceros. Unlike Blender or unlike Maya, I think subdivision is not that major enough in Rhinoceros. So make sure you save your file. Alright guys, please go back to your seats. We are about to start our class. Alright, let's get started. So in the last tutorial, in the last class, we have already finished the basic shape of the golden fish body. So the next things we're going to do is to adjusting the detail. So including the eyes of the fish and also the mouth of the fish. Uh, let's start with the eyes. So first things, let's take a look. Let's hide the fish body first. And you can take a look. This is the eyes of the fish. And also right here, there's supposed to be a crease between the fish head and fish body. Right now, it's not that easy to see. So if you want to take a look of the model, probably you can take a look right here. This is a reference. This is the example that we made before. So you can take a look right here. This is the fish eye, and here is the crease between the fish head and also the fish body. And also the fish wing will be inserted into this position. So that's the target we want to have. That's the final result we want to have. So how can we do that? How can we get the result like that? Right now we only have a very rough geometry shape like this. So how can we create the crease first? So before that, I already tell you how to create the more control point and more edge by extruding, right? You can just simply select the face right here and using extrusion. But right now, the things we want to do is to create the crease right here, which means we need to have more section, we need to have more edge and control point right here. So how can we do that? Let's go to the subdivision tools, and right here we have an option that can help us to insert more edge into the geometry. So this is the thing. There are two options. If you're using the left mouse button, then you can do the horizontal intersection. Okay? You can, sorry. If you're using your left mouse button, then you can do the vertical insert edge. And if you're using your right mouse button, then you can insert the horizontal edge. So for example, let's using your right mouse button and choosing this option. And you can choose in the position that you want to insert. Then you can see that the edge ring will be light up. Press enter and choosing the exactly position you want to have, then you will have one more edge in the middle. So the things we want to do is to create one more edge right here so that we can using that one to create this kind of crease. So let's choosing this one, using right mouse button to click and choosing here, sorry, not here. Let's do that again. Choosing here, press enter. Sorry. Let's do it again. Let's choosing the edge right here. Okay, so once you finish the selection, you can see that the edge has been lightened up. Now press enter, choosing the position that you want to insert. So I will choose here. So now we have one more edge. So we can use this edge to do the detail sculpting of the fish head. So for example, let's choose in this one. make them closer. Oh, sorry. Probably I have to use in wireframe mode so that I won't select the rest part. Okay. So now as far as you can see, we already have a crease in between the fish head and also the fish body. And for sure, if you want to do the detail adjusting, you can do that by yourself. Probably make this part bend it a little bit or something. Well, that's up to you. And maybe in this case, I will do one more time. I will do increase one more H here. Okay. Just make sure the head can show up and also the crease is deeper enough. All right. So that's the things we have. And once you finish this part, let's take a look. This is the result. You can see that right now we have the bolder edge like this because we just increased the number of the edge. So which means that if you have more edge right here, the crease and also the edge will be more sharp. Let's take about this part. For example, if I extrude more time, let's extrude one time, two times. So you can see that an edge gets more crease and more close to the sharp edge. So basically, if you want to have a more sharp edge result, then you just increase the number of the edge. I will stop right here and then give you some time to do the practice. Probably around 5 minutes, then we will keep moving forward. Okay, so here's the thing. That's because you're not familiar with the rhinoceros, so sometimes you will make some wrong decision or some wrong operation. It is okay, and also rhinoceros, the operation inside rhinoceros actually is not that intuitive at all. So there are some little tips I need you guys to know. All right, so let's take a look. So first thing is when we are working on the subdivision modeling, it's better for you to keep all the things as a cool mesh. Okay? If this one, let me try this for you. Let's go back to subdivision and choosing the, where is that? Okay, it's too small for me to find. We can use this one to cut the edge, cut the wireframe by yourself. You can choose in the shape that you want. So let's try to use this one. And I want to cut this one into triangle shape. So let's draw, make this one become triangle. So as far as you can see right now, these two edge, this core mesh become a triangle shape. Now let's try this one again. Let's try to do the insert. So you can see that the insert edge loop tool is supposed to go through the entire ring. But for this time, it only comes to here. It ends up right here. That's because the triangle mesh. All right? Uh, if you have a triangle mesh, or maybe you have a 5-side polygon mesh on your surface, then Rhinoceros or most of the 3D software like Blender and Maya, it doesn't know how to continue this section. So if we do that, it will just end up right here. Okay? For sure, in certain case, we still will using this technique. Maybe we just want to let that end up right here. But usually for most of the case, we want to have something like a continuous edge because so that the edge floor can be continuous. So that's the reason why we want to have a cold mesh. Okay? Let me repeat that in Chinese and give you guys some understanding. So another thing is that because some of you probably don't know how to increase the number of the section and edge, so you just using the face and also the vertex you have and try to match the shape. For example, I want to do that. Okay, make this one can follow the fish wing or something. Okay, this sometimes it can work, but usually it won't work. Because if you go back to the original shape, press your tab key and make your model go back. Sometimes if you find out your model has this kind of intersected, all right, this kind of intersected, it will cause some problem. usually it will cause some problem. I cannot 100% tell you what kind of problem will happen, but usually it will have some error happen. Probably it's because about the typology. Probably it's about the flow of the age, etc. So don't do that kind of thing. Don't just using the limited methods and try to fit the model. Still, you have to keep the remember the principle. All the face supposed to be the cool mesh, and also the size supposed to be well not exactly equal, but still it has to keep the proportion. Not that kind of extremely weird shape like this. This kind obviously for sure 100% wrong. So just remember this couple principle when you are working on the model. Alright，同学哦，这边跟你们再说另外一件事情，就有些同学可能忘记要怎么样去做这个增加面数，像是用挤出啊，或者说切割的方式。那所以你们就直接用原本的点数去对应我们的参考图嘛。那这样子就很容易出现说，哦，可能是你想要拉出这个鱼鳍，你就这样拉，哎，我就这样拉，拉了很多很多极端变形的这个几何体。那这种通常哦，大概都就我的经验来讲，大概90%一定会出问题。有可能是几何的就拓扑的部分会出问题，那也有可能会是说你的线条会变不连续，那会有这种状况出现了。所以就你们一定还是要就适度的去增加你们的面数，然后让你们的面数能够去跟着我们的参考图像去走，这样才会做出比较精确正确的模型哦。OK， so unfortunately, probably for today, I cannot keep moving forward. Right now, it's already 11:56. So please, once you go home, if you didn't follow the tutorial on the class, make sure you take a look about the recording. And also, if there is already pretty messy about your model, just remake that. It won't take too much time to do that. Okay? It won't take too much time for you to redo that. And it will take more time if you want me or yourself to fix the problem. So just remember this one, redo will be faster than fix the problem. Okay, right now it's 11:56. I will stop right here because I think right now most of you has fall behind the progress. For the next time, we will keep moving forward to finish the fish mouth and also the fish eye, and finally finish the fish wing.